Hey guys, today I'll show you how to efficiently farm Mythics, gold, and all unique gear in the game. That means 3 Mythics plus 6 billion gold per hour. New off on the line, you give a like and sub, I'll give you everything straight, let's go. If at some point you think I lost the thread, don't worry, it'll all come together in the end. I'll start by saying that anyone can kill Belial, the tankest of all Ubers, on Tier 4 after Paragon 200, even with starter gear and a properly set up Paragon board and skills. That's not even up for debate. The Mythic drop rate from Ubers is 2.5%. That's a fact. At first it might feel like nothing drops, but the more you kill him, the more accurate the data gets. For example, from my first 250 Belial kills, I got exactly 0 Mythic items. Seriously, I even googled if something broke in good old buggy Diablo. But after 550 kills, I had 13 Mythics, which is 2.36%. At 1200 kills, I had 29 Mythics, which is 2.41%. So Blizzard's claim 2.5% Mythic drop rate from Ubers checks out. Now the actual Mythics that drop aren't equally distributed. Obviously, each Uber has different chances to drop certain Mythic items. The most valuable ones are Shaco, Shroud of False Death, and the Ring of Starless Skies. It's still too early to talk about drop chances for specific ones. Not enough data yet. I'll share what Mythics and how many dropped once I hit at least 3,000 kills. We're not going to calculate how many previous Uber bosses you need to kill to get enough mats for Belial's summoning materials. But it's clear the numbers are discouraging for average players. The solution is trading. Don't groan just yet, there's more to it. To buy boss mats you need gold, a lot of gold. Sure, you can buy it from third-party sites, but you don't want to do that. So we won't discuss buying gold with real money, since many players find it unacceptable for various reasons. Farming a lot of gold is no easy task. I covered that in detail in the previous video. This is where valuable and always in demand runes come into play. Quick rundown. Killing any Uber boss gives you a random rune, guaranteed. Killing elite mobs or mini bosses also gives you a small chance for a random rune. But the best way to farm runes is Kurast Undercity with the Harmony Tribute. It's not too boring either, kind of fun at times. Each run gives 7 or 8 runes. Let me remind you why runes are always in demand. They're the key ingredient for targeted mythic crafting at the jeweler. Not all runes are equal. The most in-demand ones are used to craft the most wanted mythics. Rune demand shifts slightly each season, so we'll use Diablo.trade prices as a benchmark. Just in case, I'll leave a list of mythic items and the runes needed to craft them to the left of the price table. There's also a column with prices as of the end of Season 8. Links in the description. You can sort the table by any column. If needed, download a copy and do whatever you want with it. Now the numbers. Kurast in 1 hour gave the following runes and quantities. I'll just show you the runes and write the Diablo.trade price at the time of the video next to them. I'm not counting runes worth less than 200 million each. All prices are in millions. Buck, 700 million. Igni, 600 million. Cry, 3 billion, 200 million. Lak, 1 billion, 600 million. Kwe, 1 billion, 200 million. Zik, 800 million. Tan, 1 billion, 400 million. Total, 9.1 billion gold. You can list all of this and buy whatever you want with the gold. Other runes I didn't mention still go for 50 to 150 million each. But here's what I do. These are the runes I farmed in 1 hour in Kurast. But I have a stash tab where all previously farmed runes are stored. Watch closely. I need 3 mythics for my build. A helmet, chest, and ring because my current ones are trash. In that tab, the runes needed to craft those 3 mythics are marked as favorites. For your class or build, they might be different. This is so I don't accidentally transform them at the jeweler. I move the newly farmed runes into the general stash tab. They stack up with the others. What about the useless ones? You can sell them or you can recraft them at the jeweler. Put 3 unwanted runes into craft window and transform into 1 random rune. Careful, I'm rerolling Igni and Nagu into randoms and they're worth 300 million each. Don't do this if you need gold. Start with magic runes. For 3 of them and a little gold, you get a random rune of the same tier or higher. Don't craft all the way. Always leave 1 set of 3+ runes. You might suddenly need a specific rune and regret not having it. runes start overflowing and dropping on the ground pretty fast. Blizzard hasn't given us a better interface, so grab only blue ones first, transform at the jeweler, stash them, then go for yellows, repeat. It's a mess because I'm showing you how it works and what not to do. The pop-up notifications on the left are super helpful and totally not annoying. Interface masters wherever you look. You need runes in multiples of 6 to craft mythics. So later I'll buy more legendary runes up to 36 for 6 crafts. That means I also need 36 of each rare and magic runes. So I can already sell any marked favorite runes above 36. That's enough to get me something else I want, but I don't do that because it ruins the point of the game. But you totally can. Reminder, there's a full trading guide for Diablo trade with all the details in description. So what's the point of all this, and what does Belial's mythic drop rate have to do with it? Simple. Go to diablo.trade, open filters, reset if needed. Look for boss mats in the current season. Choose Betrayer's Mask and see that 1,000 masks or 500 Belial runs cost around 15 billion. We just farmed 9 billion in 1 hour in Carest. Want to run another hour there? Or maybe buy 500 summoning materials? Here's a few more numbers. Again, I'm telling this in my own order, it'll all line up. How to kill Uber bosses, solo or in a party. Simple. If you can kill them fast solo, do it. Playing in a group is always slower. You wait for people to grab loot, sort gear in town. It's a drag. So if you can solo, do it solo. If you heard about party loot bonuses, that's nonsense. You only get an increased chance for extra items, not better ones. I don't remember the exact numbers, maybe 25 to 35% per party member. So instead of 7 drops solo, you get 8 in a 4-man party. That literally means if your chance to get a good unique with a star and a solid aspect was 1%, it becomes 1.14. But the time wasted in a party isn't worth it. The extra drop chance in party doesn't make up for the time lost. There's zero profit. If they ever add a 50% quality bonus instead of quantity, we'll talk. Right now, it's just clueless marketing fluff. Why is party play worse? First, boss health point scales with the number of players, but not everyone does the same damage. Usually, one player carries the team. Second, the altar doesn't show up until everyone opens the loot chest, so you have to wait. Third, everyone's got their own idea of how long it's okay to stay in town sorting gear. One guy just dumps all the starred stuff into a prepped stash tab and salvages the rest without looking. But most people inspect every single item, and when someone decides to go to town to sort loot is never really clear. It's always out of sync. So unless it's your crew and you're on voice in Discord, better stick to solo. Now I'll tell you how to farm Belial or any other boss the right way. I'll give you a method that includes sorting gear in town. I prefer this way. You keep your resources, don't make a mess, and you don't have to relog after getting flooded with junk uniques because the game starts lagging and your damage drops. Don't ask why there's no blacksmith here. Players have been begging for one since release. Same for a loot filter and lots of other super basic genre features. By the way, I saw a post from Woody Joe. I followed his content for many years and trust him. Last night, some people, including myself, got a glimpse of Diablo 4's future. Take all the stuff I have been complaining about for the past 1.5 years and imagine I actually felt heard. Knowing Blizzard and the world we live in, full of lies, marketing, divide everything by 25. I hope changes will be visible. Back to farming. Click the loot chest, hover your mouse where the altar spawns. As soon as it starts to render, click it. While Belial is spawning, grab all the loot. I'm showing the full cycle including a town visit, so there's no questions about how many Belial kills you get per hour. My gear is basic, far from ideal. As soon as you see inventory filling up, I notice before the chest even spawns, go to town. At the blacksmith, use the sorting button that pulls items with the most stars to the beginning. Here's why. 1-star gear is only worth checking until you get your first piece with a greater affix and a max aspect. That usually happens in the first hour of gameplay. After that, only check 2 GA or better. The rest should be salvaged blind. If you think a Tal Rasha ring with 1 star, cooldown reduction, and a 24 plus aspect can be sold for 2 or 4 billion, yes it can, and they drop not very rarely. But that same ring with 2 GA sells for 60 billion, with 3 GA 99 billion. Looking at one greater affix gear is just wasting time. Pick up items from the ground only after clicking the altar. Only pick up loot when the boss is spawning or when the chest is appearing after the boss is killed. That's how you do 120 Belial runs per hour. Also, don't forget the mats that drop from any Uber chest. Forgotten souls, herbs for elixirs, essences, plus mats from salvaging at the blacksmith. Ubers give you the full material package. And from Belial you also get 1.1 million gold per run. One lucky drop of any good 2+ greater affix item with a strong aspect can give you 99.9 billion gold on trade instantly. As promised, here's the full cycle. I'm counting everything with buffer time. 4 Belial kills took 1.5 minutes total. Add 30 seconds for a trip to the blacksmith and we get 30 seconds per run, which equals 120 runs per hour. And Belial also gives the following runes. Again, only listing the high value ones, all prices are in millions. Back, 350 million. Igni and Nagu, 300 million each. Cry and Lak, 800 million each. Kwe, 600 million. Zik and Ton, 1,600 million each. Total, 6.35 billion gold per hour. In total, 120 runs per hour, as I said at the start, means 3 mythics per hour from drops and 6 billion worth of runes. Plus every kind of unique gear possible. No clickbait here, these are real numbers, and you can do this yourself starting at around Paragon 200 on Torment 4. If you can't handle T4, do it on Torment 1. Neither you nor I made Duriel and Dariel and the Harbinger unplayable when it comes to farming key unique loot and mythics quickly. Don't like trading? I actually hate it. But ignoring a 100% legal tool would be dumb. Blizzard oversees Diablo trade and knows all the rune and key dupers by names. They just don't do anything. I talked more about that in previous videos, but that's philosophy. We're here for the practical. So use it. That's it. Thanks for stopping by. Later.